All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi to hold a virtual summit today to firm up comprehensive economic partnership agreement. Prime Minister to also dedicate to the nation 2 additional railway lines in Maharashtra this evening. Government notifies green hydrogen policy for production of green hydrogen or green ammonia using renewable sources of energy. Gujarat announces new biotechnology policy for 2022-27. Campaigning ends for third phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and single-phase polling in Punjab this evening. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 174 crore 59 lakh mark. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to leave on a 6-day visit to Germany and France today. And in cricket, second T20 match between India and West Indies to be played in Kolkata this evening. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and get fully vaccinated and also help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, to get vaccinated. Please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask. Maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing and focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-239-78046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of UAE Armed Forces, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, will hold a virtual summit today. Both leaders are expected to lay out their vision of the historic and friendly relations between the 2 countries at a time when India is celebrating 75 years of its independence as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, and the UAE is celebrating the 50th anniversary of its foundation. Briefing media in New Delhi yesterday, MEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said, India and the UAE have deepened and transformed their bilateral ties significantly over the past few years, and both countries have made substantial progress on some aspects of the free trade agreement.
This is relations with the United Arab Emirates have really seen a deepening and a transformation over the last few years. I think it is now a relationship that covers or spans numerous areas. We have made some progress in certain agreements. Certainly this is an important activity and event, a virtual summit with the UAE.
We have a report from our correspondent.
A major initiative in India-UAE bilateral relations is the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement CEPA. Negotiations for CEPA were launched in September last year and have been completed. The agreement will take India-UAE economic and commercial engagement to the next level. UAE is India's 3rd largest trade partner, and bilateral trade and investment ties are expected to see significant enhancements. Mr. Modi and Mr. Al Nahyan will also discuss bilateral cooperation and exchange views on the regional and international issues of mutual interest. In recent years, bilateral relations between India and the UAE have strengthened in all areas, and both sides have embarked upon a comprehensive strategic partnership. Prime Minister visited UAE in 2015, 2018, 2019, while the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi visited India in 2016 and 2017. Ministerial visits between the 2 sides have also continued, including 3 visits of External Affairs Minister and a visit of Commerce and Industry Minister to UAE last year. Both sides have collaborated closely during the COVID-19 pandemic in critical areas of healthcare and food security. Bilateral trade, investment and energy relations have remained robust. The 2 sides are also strengthening their cooperation in new areas of renewable energy, startups, fintech, etc. India is participating with one of the largest pavilions in the Dubai Expo 2020. UAE hosts a large India community which numbers close to 3.5 million. Mr. Modi has expressed India's appreciation to the leadership of UAE for supporting the Indian community during the pandemic. UAE leadership has also been appreciative of the contribution of the Indian community in its development. Both sides had agreed on an air bubble agreement in 2020 during the pandemic, which has enabled the movement of people between the two countries despite the challenges posed by COVID-19. Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate to the nation 2 additional railway lines connecting Thane and Diva today via video conferencing. Mr. Modi will also flag off 2 suburban trains of the Mumbai Suburban Railway, followed by his address on the occasion. More from our correspondent.
Out of the 4 tracks between Kalyan and CST, 2 tracks were used for slow local trains and 2 tracks for fast local, mail express and goods trains. To segregate suburban and long distance trains, 2 additional tracks were planned. The 2 additional railway lines connecting Thane and Diva have been built at the approximate cost of Rs 620 crores and features 3 major bridges and 21 minor bridges. Now there are 6 lines between Lokmanya Tilak Terminus and Kalyan. These lines will significantly remove the interference of long distance trains, traffic and suburban trains traffic in Mumbai. These lines will also enable the introduction of additional suburban trains in the city. From today, additional 36 suburban trains will be launched, out of which 34 trains are AC trains. Devapriya Bhattacharjee, AIR News, Mumbai.
The Ministry of Power has notified green hydrogen and green ammonia policy for the production of green hydrogen or green ammonia using renewable sources of energy. Hydrogen and ammonia are envisaged to be the future fuels to replace fossil fuels. Production of these fuels by using power from renewable energy termed as green hydrogen and green ammonia is one of the major requirements towards environmentally sustainable energy security of the nation. Government is taking various measures to facilitate the transition from fossil fuel and fossil fuel-based feedstocks to green hydrogen and green ammonia. The notification of this policy is one of the major steps in this endeavor. The implementation of this policy will provide clean fuel to the common people of the country. This will reduce the dependence on fossil fuel and also reduce crude oil imports. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the National Hydrogen Mission on India's 75th Independence Day last year. The mission aims to aid the government in meeting its climate targets and making India a green hydrogen hub.
We have announced the setting up of the National Hydrogen Mission. It aims to tap into green hydrogen and exciting technology to power our future. I encourage academic and research institutes like TERI to come up with sustainable solutions to realize the potential of green hydrogen. Friends, India is a mega diverse country. With 2.4% of the world's land area, India accounts for nearly 8% of the world's species. It is our duty to protect this ecology.
This will help in meeting the target of production of 5 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030 and the related development of renewable energy capacity. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel has announced new biotechnology policy for the year 2022-2027. This policy is aimed to achieve Atmanirbhar Bharat, the vision of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Under this policy, the strategic projects and mega and large projects are eligible for special packages. This will attract new investment through anchor units and existing industries and create new employment opportunities in the state. According to this new policy, the MSMEs with a capital investment of less than 200 crore rupees will be given maximum assistance of 40 crore rupees. Similarly, the mega and large projects with a capital investment of more than 200 crore rupees and special projects like ecosystem, empowerment, emerging technologies in challenging areas and strategic importance will be assisted up to 25% of the total capital expenditure up to a maximum limit of 200 crore rupees.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually inaugurate Asia's largest bio-CNG plant at Indore in Madhya Pradesh tomorrow. This bio-CNG plant will be operated from 100% wet waste. More from our correspondent.
The plant is built on public-private partnership mode from which Indore Municipal Corporation will get revenue of 2.5 crores per annum. The plant has been set up on 15 acres of a trenching ground of the Indore Municipal Corporation in Devguradia area with an investment of rupees 150 crore. About 400 buses can be run daily with the gas generated from the bio-CNG plant. Mission directors of Swachh Bharat Mission from about 20 states of the country will also participate in the program. Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will also remain present during the event. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
Campaigning will end this evening for Punjab Assembly elections. The Election Commission has asked all star campaigners and non-voters to move out of the constituency by 6 p.m. today. The Commission has also said that all rallies and public meetings will end at 6 p.m., though candidates and their supporters can go for door-to-door silent campaigning after that. Punjab Police and Central Paramilitary Force personnel will start checking hotels, lodges, community centres and other places to move out the outsiders and non-voters from the constituency. Punjab will go to single-phase polling on Sunday to elect a new assembly. Today is the last day for campaigning for the third phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh, which will be held on the 20th of February. The state is going for polls in 7 phases from 10th February to the 7th of March. All political parties are making last-ditch efforts to garner the support of voters. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Yesterday was the last date of nomination for 7th phase of elections in the state, and the nomination process is now over for the assembly elections. On the other hand, cacophony of campaign will fall silent this evening on the 59 seats of 16 districts of a state where polling is in third phase of elections. Yesterday, Samajwadi Party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav campaigned for his son and party chief Akhilesh Yadav at Mainpuri and Etawah districts. It was first appearance of the senior leader on public platform after announcement of elections in the state. Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah also campaigned for party candidates in Shukohabad, Mainpuri and Lakhimpur Kheri. Today also many senior BJP leaders including Party President JP Nadda, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya and State BJP President Swatantra Dev Singh will campaign for party candidates at different places. Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will address Pratigya virtual Maharali today. Samajwadi Party President Akhilesh Yadav and AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi will campaign for party candidates in Jalon district. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
Gujarat government has lifted night curfew from all the cities of the state except Ahmedabad and Vadodara from today. The night curfew in Ahmedabad and Vadodara will remain effective from 12 in the night to 6 a.m. This decision was taken at a state-level core committee meeting chaired by Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel yesterday evening. Gujarat government has also decided to start off line teaching in all schools and colleges across the state from 21st February. India's COVID vaccination coverage has crossed 174 crore 59 lakh mark. Union Health Ministry said that more than 33 lakh doses of vaccine were administered till 7 p.m. yesterday. More than 1 crore 84 lakh precaution doses have been administered so far. In the age group of 15 to 18 years old, more than 5 crore 31 lakh vaccine doses have been administered as first dose and 1 crore 95 lakh as second dose so far.
Kerala yesterday logged 8,655 fresh COVID cases, while 22,707 people recovered from the infection. Test positivity rate dipped to 13.38%. 18 COVID deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, along with 301 newly certified COVID-related fatalities, taking the cumulative toll to 63,338. Kerala's active cases have dipped to 99,424.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi to hold a virtual summit today to firm up comprehensive economic partnership agreement. Prime Minister to also dedicate to the nation 2 additional railway lines in Maharashtra this evening. Government notifies green hydrogen policy for the production of green hydrogen or green ammonia using renewable sources of energy. Gujarat announces new biotechnology policy for 2022-2027. Campaigning ends for third phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and single-phase polling in Punjab this evening. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 174 crore 59 lakh mark. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to leave on a 6-day visit to Germany and France today. And in cricket, second T20 match between India and West Indies to be played in Kolkata this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will leave for a 6-day visit to Germany and France today. He will participate in the Munich Security Conference during his Germany visit. Dr. Jaishankar will also hold bilateral meetings with foreign ministers and other delegates who will attend the conference. Briefing media in New Delhi, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Narendra said, Dr. Jaishankar will also participate in a panel discussion on the Indo-Pacific. On the sidelines of the conference, the External Affairs Minister will lead discussions at an Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav event being hosted by the Consulate General of India in Munich and the Observer Research Foundation. The External Affairs Ministry has said India has been supportive of an immediate de-escalation of tensions between Ukraine and Russia and a resolution of the issue through sustained diplomatic dialogue. Briefing media in New Delhi last evening, Ministry spokesperson Narendra said India welcomes efforts being undertaken for implementation of the Minsk agreements. He also said developments in Ukraine are being monitored by the Indian embassy in the country. He said advisories have been issued and control rooms have been set up.
Our embassy continues to function normally and provide services to Indian nationals in Ukraine. As the advisory said, those who are non-essential activities, perhaps we request them to leave as well as not undertake non-essential travel. But as I said, flights are operational, the embassy is normal, our embassy is in touch with the students. So I think that's how we're looking at it. We continue to monitor the situation on the ground, and we will take further steps if required depending on how the situation evolves.
And now let's listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
18th February is the day when the Indian Home Rule Society was founded in London in 1905. The Indian Home Rule Society sought to promote the cause of self-rule in British India. The organization was founded by Shyamji Krishna Varma with support from a number of prominent Indian nationalists in Britain at the time, including Bhikaji Cama, Dadabhai Naoroji and S.R. Rana.
The Indian Home Rule Society was a metropolitan organization modelled after Victorian public institutions of the time. It had a written constitution, and the stated aim was to secure home rule for India and to carry on a genuine Indian propaganda in Britain by all practicable means. The IHRS was open for membership to Indians only. It found significant support amongst Indian students and other Indian populations in Britain.
The Indian Home Rule Society maintained close contact with revolutionary movements in India. The society was the founder of the India House in London. India House was a student residence that was open to promote nationalist views among Indian students in Britain. The Indian Home Rule Society, along with Shyamji Krishna Varma's journal, The Indian Sociologist, laid the foundation of the militant Indian nationalist movement in Britain. After Shyamji Krishna Varma shifted to Paris in 1907, the society gave way to the secret nationalist society of Abhinav Bharat Mandal, founded by V.D. Savarkar.
18th of February is also the day when the Royal Indian Navy Revolt of 1946 started in Mumbai. The strike by the ratings of the Royal Indian Navy came at a time when the Indian nationalist sentiment had reached its peak with the launch of Quit India movement and the end of the Second World War. It was triggered by a group of 20 young ratings of the Royal Indian Navy stationed on the HMIS Talwar.
While the immediate trigger was the demand for better food and working conditions, the agitation soon turned into a wider demand for the release of all political prisoners and independence from British rule. The day after the strike began, the ratings went around Mumbai in lorries waving the Indian flag and fought with Europeans and policemen who tried to stop them.
As HMIS Talwar was also the communications training school, the ratings used wireless codes to communicate among themselves and to spread the message across all naval stations. Within a few days, the rebels had managed to take control of 74 other ships stationed in Mumbai, Karachi, Chennai, Kolkata and other parts of the British Empire. The reports on radio and in newspapers spread like wildfire. Soon, ordinary people also joined the ratings in the revolt and life came to a virtual standstill in both Mumbai and Kolkata. There were meetings, processions and strikes. In many cities across India, students boycotted classes in solidarity.
The response of the state was brutal. Hundreds of Indian citizens were killed and thousands were injured in the British police firing on the demonstrators. Finally, Sardar Patel managed to make the rating surrender on the 24th of February 1946. The revolt of the naval ratings remains a legend today. It was an event that further strengthened the determination among all sections of the Indian people to see the end of British rule. In memory of the revolt, a naval uprising memorial stands today in Mumbai.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
स्वाधीनता आंदोलन के दौरान भारतीय जनमानस को उत्प्रेरित कर स्वतंत्रता का अलख जगाने और मातृभूमि के प्रति सेवा, समर्पण और त्याग की ज्वाला प्रज्वलित कर देने वाले अमर गीतों पर आधारित विशेष कार्यक्रम आजादी के तराने सुनना न भूलें। FM गोल्ड 100.1 मेगाहर्ट्ज पर प्रत्येक शुक्रवार शाम 4:45 पर परिक्रमा कार्यक्रम के अंतर्गत आजादी के तराने सिर्फ आकाशवाणी पर।
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark Gold jewelry. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by the Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago.
The first of its kind water taxi service linking Mumbai and Navi Mumbai was inaugurated yesterday by Union Shipping Minister Sarbananda Sonowal in the presence of Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. The water taxi will ply between domestic cruise terminal in South Mumbai and the newly inaugurated Belapur Jetty in New Navi Mumbai, reducing the travel time to just 45 minutes, a good 50% less than the current time taken via roadways. In Telangana, about 75 lakh devotees have visited the Medaram Samakka Saralamma shrine before Saralamma arrives and is installed during the ongoing biennial Jatra. State Panchayati Raj and Rural Development Minister E. Dayakar Rao informed yesterday evening at Medaram. He reiterated that the state government will strive to ensure national status for the Medaram Tribal Fair as it is the second biggest congregation after the Kumbh Mela in the country. He recalled that the number of devotees is increasing year after year and said the devotees before Saralamma's arrival was about 50 lakh last year. Meanwhile, Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao will take part in the fair later this afternoon to pay respects to the tribal goddesses. The government has extended the date of NEET MDS 2022 by 4 to 6 weeks. Earlier, the exam was scheduled to be held on the 6th of March. The Health Ministry has said that it has received representations from United Doctor Front Association and MDS aspirants regarding the request to extend the date of examination.
India and the West Indies will face off each other in the second T20 International of the ongoing series at Eden Garden Stadium in Kolkata today. The match will begin at 7 p.m. India defeated the West Indies by 6 wickets in the opening T20I encounter at the same venue on Wednesday. With this win, India have gained a 1-0 lead in the series. So far, the touring West Indies have failed to trouble the hosts in any of the matches. If India wins this game, it will be a third successive series win for Rohit Sharma after being appointed the full-time captain for Team India. In women's cricket, New Zealand were 111 for 2 in 21 overs against India in third one-day international in Queenstown a short while ago. Earlier, India set a victory target of 280 runs for the hosts. India made 279 runs in 49.3 overs. New Zealand had won the toss and chose to bowl first. New Zealand have already taken 2-0 lead in the 5-match ODI series against India.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi is likely to have mist in the morning and the temperature will vary between 14 and 27 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 20 degrees Celsius while the maximum is expected to be around 31 degrees. Chennai is likely to have fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will vary between 22 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 17 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 28 degrees. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky with the possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Jammu will have partially cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Leh is likely to see a partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky, becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening. Hyderabad had fog in the morning and will have partly cloudy sky later. Guwahati will have a partly cloudy sky and Aswal will also have a partially cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 6 degrees Celsius while the maximum will be around 24 degrees. Kohima will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. The minimum and maximum temperatures will vary between 5 and 17 degrees Celsius. Agartala will have mist. The temperature will hover between 12 and 28 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. In its top story, Hindustan Times quotes US President Joe Biden as saying that the threat of invasion of Ukraine by Russia in the coming days is very high. Counting on India for support, says US, headlines the Tribune. India lifts curbs on flights from Ukraine, writes a Pioneer. The Times of India top headline quotes the Minister of External Affairs as saying that Singapore PM remark on Indian MPs is uncalled for. The Supreme Court quashes the Punjab and Haryana High Court stay on law providing 75% reservation for locals in private sector jobs, reports the Asian Age. IT Department raids premises of ex-NSE Chief Ramakrishna, report Business Standard. Emails between Chitra and Yogi a coded puzzle for investigators, writes the Hindu Business Line. The Times of India has carried news of the recovery by the Delhi Police's special cell of a powerful explosive device from a Simapuri flat that could have caused huge damage in the congested area. And finally, Hindustan Times carries a photograph of students gathered together in a college with the caption, Delhi University resumes classes after nearly 2 years.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi to hold a virtual summit today to firm up comprehensive economic partnership agreement. Prime Minister to also dedicate to the nation 2 additional railway lines in Maharashtra this evening. Government notifies green hydrogen policy for production of green hydrogen or green ammonia using renewable sources of energy. Gujarat announces new biotechnology policy for 2022-27. Campaigning ends for third phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and single-phase polling in Punjab this evening. India's COVID vaccination coverage crosses 174 crore 59 lakh mark. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar to leave on a 6-day visit to Germany and France today. And in cricket, second T20 match between India and West Indies to be played in Kolkata this evening. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.